Covering the Tefillin Shel Yad. Is one required to cover the Tefillin Shel Yad upon wearing it, upon putting it on? We see some people who do so, others who don't do so. What's the halacha? So this question dates back to the Gemara in Menachos 37b, in which we find a certain drasha of a pasuk that can be learned in one of two ways. The pasuk says, "V'haya lecha la'os al yadecha," which literally means that the tefillin, the phylacteries, is to be a sign, an omen on your hands. But it adds the words lecha, which means to say it should be a sign for you and not for others. Now what is this coming to teach us, this pasuk? Is it coming to teach us that the tefillin shel yad should be concealed, such as under your sleeve, so other people don't see it, so it's only for you a sign? Or does it come to teach us that it should be positioned in an area that's normally covered by a sleeve, such as directly on your bicep? But whether or not you cover it or not is not relevant and is not included or inferred from this verse. And rather it's just teaching us the positioning of the tefillin, where on the arm, on the bicep, an area that's not normally covered by the sleeve, which is private to you and not for others. So practically the two options are two approaches in the Gemara between two Ameiraim. Rav Acha evidently held that it may be revealed to the public, you don't have to cover it so long as you put it on your bicep directly, while Rav Ashi held that it has to be covered. Practically, what's the final ruling in halacha? So while we do have some Rishonim who side like Rav Ashi that the Tefillin Shel Yad must be covered while you are wearing them, as we said, as it's for you a sign and not for others a sign. So rules the Orchos Chayim, the Mordechai, in the name of Shemush Rabbah. So rules the Levush, and other Paiskim. However, in the Shulchanaruch it is ruled, like the opinion of Rav Acha in the Gemara in Menachos, that the Tefillin Shel Yad does not have to be covered so long as it's placed directly on your bicep in an area that's private to you. And so rules the Ramah in Shulchanaruch chapter 27 halacha 11, the Alter Rebbe in chapter 27 halacha 8, based on the final ruling of the Mordechai, and so rule the other Achreinim. So bottom line, according to halacha, while we do find a dispute on this matter, some say that Tefillin Shel Yad must be covered, others say it does not have to be covered. The final ruling in the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah, the Alter Rebbe, and others is that it does not have to be covered at all and it can be revealed. However, all this is according to halacha. What does Kabbalah and Chassidus say about this matter? Do they intervene and give an opinion, or also according to Kabbalah does not need to be covered, as is the final ruling in halacha? So the Mekubalim record that the Tefillin Shel Yad is to be covered during davening. This is based on reasons of Kabbalah. And not only that, but it's to be covered already beginning from the bracha. Meaning, before you say the bracha, you're supposed to cover the Tefillin Shel Yad. Many people do it with their talis or with their jacket. And they then say the bracha, and only then do they uncover it in order to tighten it. And as soon as they are done putting on the Tefillin Shel Yad, they then cover the Tefillin Shel Yad right away. So it remains covered practically the entire time it is worn. The reason, according to Kabbalah, that this is required is because the Tefillin Shel Yad is considered, or represents, the investment of the divine light of Elikus into the vessels, in which the light is concealed and not revealed. So that's why the Tefillin Shel Yad has to be literally covered, concealed, and not revealed. Who records this ruling of Kabbalah? So is recorded in the Birkei Yosef 27:4 in the name of his grandfather Avram Azulai, the author of Chesed the Avram, based on the teachings of the Arizal, recorded in the Sharei Tshuva. So is recorded in Kisvei Arizal Shara Kavanis Pri Eitz Chaim. Is recorded in the Eilas Tamid, the El Yerabah, the Shamei Tzibah, the Chol Avram, the Beis Eva, the Kisei Eliyahu, Chesed the Avram, Kaf HaChaim, the Ben Ish Chai, and others. So is also recorded in Sidrim Dach, which was Marim said by the Alter Rebbe, written by the Mittler Rebbe, and edited by the Tzemach Tzedek, in which it states there that according to Kabbalah, the Tefillin Shel Yad is to be covered as is known. So is the wording there. So practically, although according to halacha, as we said, it does not need to be covered, as that is the approach we rule like in Paiskim, nonetheless, according to Chassidus and Kabbalah, it does need to be covered. Practically, what is the Chabad custom in this matter? So aside for the fact we have the Maimer which states that the Tefillin is to be covered, which as we said is from the Alter Rebbe, Mittler Rebbe, and Tzemach Tzedek, we also have a testimony in Ishkafta the Rebbe that the custom of Anash, of Chabad Chassidim, was to cover the Tefillin Shel Yad with their sleeve, and that so was the custom of the Rebbe Rashab, and in fact he was so careful in particular in this that he would cover it between the Shel Yad and Shel Reish, meaning before putting on a Shel Reish he would cover his Shel Yad with his sleeve. That's how important he looked at the idea of it being covered constantly. This was also done by other Gedolei Yisrael, that they would cover it in between putting on the Shel Yad and Shel Reish. Regarding the Rebbe's custom, so while the Rebbe did often cover the Tefillin Shel Yad, as can be seen in many videos and pictures, unlike those who state it was never covered, there were times that you do see it was uncovered. And it's not clear exactly what position the Rebbe held in this, but in truth it was covered on many, many occasions by the sleeve. What we do know is that Rabbi Groner interestingly noted that the Rebbe would not cover the Shel Yad with his sleeve in between putting on the Shel Yad and Shel Reish, as did the Rebbe Rashab, and rather he would put the backs on during that time, meaning he would take off the backs of the Shel Yad before the blessing, say the blessing, wrap the Shel Yad, put on the backs, and then put on the Shel Reish. Perhaps the Rebbe held that the covering that we now put on, this backs, which started being used in recent generations, not in the times of the Rebbe Rashab, that itself suffices as a cover, and therefore, instead of the sleeve, he puts that on in between the Shel Yad and Shel Reish. In any event, to summarize, according to Halacha, you do not have to cover your Shel Yad, but according to Kabbalah Chassidus, it does need to be covered when you're wearing it, and especially when you're saying the bracha. And this is the Chabad custom. We cover it upon saying the bracha, and we are particular to cover it throughout the time that we are wearing it. Over those who are lenient to consider the backs that they cover the Tefillin Shel Yad with during davening, in exchange for covering with the sleeve, have upon whom to rely, as perhaps that itself is considered a covering, even according to Kabbalah.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many Sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.